From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the hourly news blast. LGBTQ Nation is reporting, even though the Supreme Court is currently considering Chile's v. Salazar, a case that could overturn the bans on conversion therapy for minors currently in place in 27 states, longtime LGBTQ plus activist Wayne Besen says these bans don't stop a majority of those who actually offer services to change people's sexual orientation or gender identity, namely unlicensed religious counselors and life coaches working with so-called ex-LGBTQ plus organizations. The term ban is inaccurate, Besen told LGBTQ Nation. Show me. Show me one conversion therapist who has been put out of business because of these laws. Besen is executive director of Truth Wins Out, an organization that combats anti-LGBTQ plus religious extremism and misinformation. He's also the author of two books covering the history of conversion therapy and ministries that offer it. And he argues that he personally has helped shut down more major conversion therapy organizations by helping expose their pseudoscientific methods and the hypocritical actions of their closeted leaders than any state laws have. These state laws are mostly symbolic, Besen said, and only address 5% to 10% of the people actually offering conversion therapy. They have large loopholes for religious practitioners that you could drive a Mack truck through, he said, noting the exceptions these laws provide for religious expression and free speech. Symbolism matters, and when people see there's a ban, it does lower the stature of the practice, he conceded, but he also believes these laws are mostly ineffective. The most powerful and active anti-gay conversion organization in the country, if not the world, the Changed Movement, is based in Redding, California, which is a state that supposedly bans it, he explained, noting that the group can operate because it presents itself as a religious group. Besen said state laws against conversion therapy are also especially obsolete in the internet age, when a parent can enroll their child in a conversion therapy program located outside the United States with just a few clicks. He said that contemporary support for conversion therapy is tied up in a larger international Christian nationalist movement that involves U.S. anti-LGBTQ plus organizations that queer activists have been fighting for decades, like the American Family Association, the Claremont Institute, the Family Research Council, and other Southern Poverty Law Center designated hate groups and other groups that supported Project 2025, the president's blueprint for his second term that seeks eradication of LGBTQ plus civil rights at the federal level, but also reaches to other far-right groups in Britain, Hungary, Africa, and elsewhere. Some states have prohibited conversion therapy by using consumer fraud laws, essentially shutting down paid businesses that violate state regulatory business statutes by using false advertising to market harmful and ineffective services. Such a law in New Jersey was used to shut down Jews offering new alternatives to homosexuality, or Jonah, in 2015. Besen, working with the Southern Poverty Law Center, convinced a unanimous jury that the group was liable for consumer fraud. A judge ordered the group to permanently close, and it has been defunct ever since. But while consumer fraud laws effectively get around free speech and religious expression loopholes, they require much more time and money, Besen said, because prosecutors must first collect extensive evidence, find witnesses, and then go to trial. Major LGBTQ plus groups like the National Center for Lesbian Rights and Trevor Project have raised money and public support for state laws against conversion therapy, but Besen feels they should have changed tactics in 2020 after the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the case Otto v. City of Boca Raton that local ordinances against conversion therapy for minors are unconstitutional. while other circuit courts affirmed that such laws are constitutional because they only regulate professional conduct of licensed professionals. The 11th Circuit held that these laws unconstitutionally restrict free speech protected under the First Amendment. The writing was on the wall at this point, Besen said. For 6 more years, we're talking about bans when it was obvious to anybody with any political knowledge whatsoever that the courts were changing. That Trump stuffed the courts with MAGA, including the Supreme Court, that the world changed, and that this was very likely to all be overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court. That's part 1 of this story. We'll have part 2 tomorrow. If you are watching the video version on our YouTube channel, be sure to give the video a like and subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.